I am 27 years and my girlfriend is 28 years. We have been together for the past 2 years. It's my first serious relationship and she's the only person I truly loved. I mean really love. I have 4 siblings and a mother. I like my siblings, but I do not love them, and I hate my mother because she was physically and mentally abusive. I've never been close to them, and I always thought that if you are related by blood, you don't have to love that person. But I knew one thing: if I ever have kids, I will love them no matter what. Becoming a dad was my most important dream. Not just a father, but a daddy. A man who will do anything for his family, who will watch when his kids take their first steps, when they say their first words. I just wanted to be with them, to look at them, to listen to them. But now, I don't know if I still want it. My girlfriend told me she definitely wants to have kids in the future because it was her dream too, to become a mom, and she's more than happy to have a happy family. We like to make pranks with each other, but they were innocent jokes like doorway tape pranks, hiding a small plastic spider in the drawer. It all happened this week. In the last week, we lived like usual. There was no indication that my girlfriend was planning a prank on me. On Thursday, after I came back from work, she was sitting concerned in our living room. I immediately noticed it and sat next to her, asking what happened. She then pulled out a pregnancy test and told me she is pregnant. I couldn't believe it. I was more than happy. I hugged her tight and kissed her. She was still concerned, but I was telling her all excited that we will be parents, and we both know it's a big responsibility, but we will make it together. Then she asked me not to tell anyone yet because she wants to do it personally. I said it's not a problem because on Sundays, we often had dinner at her parents' house, so I thought she would tell them then. I was the happiest man alive. Before I found out about the pregnancy, I was looking for an engagement ring. I wanted to ask her to marry me, but I decided to wait, to buy her the ring she deserves and do it like it should be. I was excited all day and wanted to spend all my time with her, but she was not in the mood. I thought it was hormones, so I didn't push her and let her be alone, assuring her that I am there if she needed anything. Before we fall asleep, she told me she needs to take the day off work. I said it's fine, and if she feels bad, to call me and I will come from work earlier to be with her. The next day, I woke up before her and, as usual, went to work, leaving her a note that said, "You will be a perfect mother." I wanted to assure her that everything would be fine. I texted her a few times during work, but she didn't respond. I was a little worried and decided to talk with her later. When I came back from work, she wasn't at home, so I texted her and called a few times, but she didn't respond. I called her mother and sister to ask if they knew where she was, but they didn't. I decided to wait a few hours while trying to call her many times. After 4 to 5 hours, she came back. I went to her, hugged her, and asked if everything is fine. She told me, yes, now everything is fine. She said we needed to talk, so we sat, and I waited for what she wanted to say. At the beginning, she said she was afraid of the pregnancy and knew that she wouldn't be able to be a good mother. I interrupted her, telling her she would be a great mother, and gave examples of how close she was to her niece, how wonderfully she took care of her, and how much she loved her. She told me this is a different situation and she doesn't want to be a mother yet. With a little smile, she told me, "I had an abortion." I couldn't believe it, so I asked her to say it one more time, and once again, she told me she had an abortion. My heart was completely broken when I heard that, and my eyes started to water with tears. I asked, "Why? Why did you do it? You said you wanted to be a mother." I fell weak and knelt next to the sofa, started crying, and reached out, placing my hand on her stomach, still asking, "Why? I looked her in the eyes and said, "How could you? How could you kill my baby?" I saw it in her eyes. She was regretting it, but she wasn't answering. For the last time I asked, screaming at her, "Why did you kill my baby?" Then she started crying, saying it's not like that, and it was all a prank. I started crying even harder, asked her if she's still pregnant, but she denied. She said she never has been pregnant, and all of it was supposed to be a joke. She hugged me, saying she was sorry and didn't think I would react like this. After a few minutes of crying and saying she was sorry, I asked her why she did that, why she thought it would be funny, but she couldn't respond. I pushed her away and walked out, saying I need to be alone. She wanted to stop me, but I told her to leave me alone and walked out. I took my car and drove off. I stopped at a parking place about 40 kilometers from where I live. All the time my phone was ringing. I knew it was my girlfriend, but I didn't want to talk with her, so I turned on airplane mode. I unfolded the seat so I could lie on it. For a few hours I was laying on it and wasn't thinking about anything, but I fell asleep. I woke up when my alarm started ringing. At first I wasn't sure where I was, but after a few seconds, I remembered what happened yesterday. I started to cry again. I was cold because the temperature was about 10 degrees Celsius. It was a Saturday, but I had to go to work. I calmed down after a few minutes and went to work. One of my friends saw something bothering me and asked what happened. Because I'm not the type of person who shares my problems with others, I just said, I slept badly and had a bad day. He said, shit happens, and gave me a smile and walked on his way. After my shift, I drove off my work, and during the ride I cried again. I was always afraid of becoming a burden to someone, so I decided to sleep again in my car. My phone was dead, so I was just laying in the car all day thinking about what happened. Every time I tried to imagine myself as a dad, I couldn't, and each time I cried. My heart was shattered and I didn't know what to do. Today, I've decided to come back home and talk with my girlfriend. I don't know what to say to her. I don't even know how I will react when I see her. But I know one thing. She lost my trust because she knew it was my dream to be a dad, and I don't know if I can forgive her.